England looked like
Bill.
a totally different team. So, Mina, here's the question. Are the Pats pretenders or are they legit contenders?
Yeah, I'm going with pretenders, even though I do think they're a playoff team. I think they're a good football team. But if you're asking me, can they win the Super Bowl this season? I don't think so, based on what I've seen. And really, that's about the passing offense. Not just Mac Jones, the passing offense. I think sometimes we put too much on quarterbacks. But what I saw, what I've seen over the last couple of days is something that I was a bit concerned about headed into the season, which is, do they have a passing attack that can win against man coverage in particular? Statistic that jumped out to me from the Bills' loss from Evan Lazar, that he tweeted, Mac Jones had a passer rating of 0 against man coverage.
Yeah.
0.0. And that is deeply concerning. And it's not just about Mac Jones. Beating man coverage, it requires wide receivers who can separate, which I think has been an issue and was an issue for New England that maybe overlooked when the run game was dominant. Look, again, still a very good football team, very well-coached defense, very good pass rush that ran into an all-time performance from Josh Allen. I just don't think this passing attack is quite there yet to keep up with the likes of the Bills and the Chiefs.
Yeah, listen,
It's
I'm going to tell you, I think they're contenders. And I would use kind of Mina's argument. They've already beat the Bills one time, and they played. And listen, everybody on this set knows Josh Allen played dang near a perfect game against the Patriots. He made plays that he had absolutely no business making. Listen, hats off to you. Like when Bill Belichick says, you're going to have to beat me left-handed, McKenzie is beating you with a left-handed knockout, right? When you don't expect that guy to be able to throw it at all.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. The throws that he made, the little pitches he made, the 4th and 1 where he's got two dudes dialed in on him and he dips and J.C. Jackson, almost falls on his own head to whiff. Like, I don't expect those things to happen continuously to the Patriots. And so when I look at this football team, I would tell you this. Other than the Chiefs right now, who have separated themselves in the AFC, you would give the Patriots a fighter's chance in each and every one of those games. So to think that they are pretenders because of Mac Jones or whatever flaws they have, we could point to that in every football team in the AFC, minus the Chiefs right now who are on this hot streak. But when I think about one game in the playoffs, coaching against Bill Belichick, you got your hands full. And listen, I've lived it. I've watched him do things that have amazed me and run completely different game plans in the first and second quarter, much less the third and fourth and the adjustments they're going to make in those quarters. So when I think about what Belichick can do and the way he can continue to advance, I think Josh McDaniels is understanding the limitations of Mac Jones and their passing attack, Mina, to your point.
Yeah.
And so he will figure out, what do we have to do, right? It may mean we punt it more. We don't put the ball in those hands. We don't stop the clock. We shorten the game. But rest assured, that man's back in the lab, and he is putting it together. So for me to just go, oh, they're pretenders because they got beat by the Colts on a block punt and some special plays, and then against Buffalo with a special performance, I still think they're in the mix.
Well, back to agreeing with Mina, pretenders. And listen, it really boils down to this. A good football team. Like the argument is not that New England is not a good football team. They're a good football team, and we think their level is even higher because Bill Belichick is their coach. It's one damn thing you can't run from, though. Your quarterback got to make plays in the playoffs. Mina has rolled her eyes at me 100 times this year because I've said run the damn ball. And I believe if you're going to win football games consistently, you better be able to run the football. The New England Patriots can run the football. They can do that. But in the playoffs, those game plans change. And other teams force you to change those game plans. So I get it. If we play in the same vein and Bill Belichick and it's going exactly how Bill Belichick thinks it needs to go and they making plays, yeah, you could see New England make a run. I just don't remember the last time we've seen the playoffs go that way. All of the playoffs that I've watched, even when Jeff Saturday was winning the Super Bowl, at some point Peyton had to be Peyton. At some point, those quarterbacks had to rise to the moment. We look at the Super Bowl a few years ago with San Francisco and Kansas City. Jimmy G was going to be asked to make some throws in that game. That's what it forces you to do. Like, it's never a case where you got a team that's going to go in the playoffs and say, yep, we about to run it down their throat and we going to win the Super Bowl that way. It does not happen that way. Because if the Tennessee Titans ain't won the Super Bowl with that running back, ain't nobody doing it. You going to need your quarterback to play at a high level at some point during the season. I think Josh Allen can do that. I believe Patrick Mahomes can do that. On the other side, I think Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady and Dak Prescott can do that. All of the teams that I'm talking about, contenders, legit guys, I think they can do that. It will come to a point where Mac Jones will have to win the game for the New England Patriots, and I don't think he's ready just yet in a playoff atmosphere.
I think for a few things. One, I think Bill Belichick has followed this formula before with a young quarterback, not comparing the two, but just saying I think he's figured this thing out. Two, I can tell this is the NFL Live tandem.
I was going to say,
right
you're
here,
the odd man out here.
Trying to take shots at me. I'm all good with it. I got big shoulders, bro. I can tote the load. I ain't scared of it even a little bit. I'm just like, and when I say contender, I ain't saying they're going to win the Super Bowl. I'm saying to knock them out as pretenders because they don't match up with one team in the AFC. Nah, man. Hey, look, I'm with y'all. Y'all, the whole Mina, let me do my thing. Let me say hello, love you. You know me.
What are we
NFL
talking
Live.
about?
We're on the Saturday. You're an outcast. You know, you on this. You just do first take. Hey, I can stand it up. I ain't scared of you.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.